Welcome back, CertHeads. In our last episode, we explored Azure architectural components, and also we had a brief look on how to interact with the Azure portal, with Azure CLI and the GUI. We also did a quick resource creation from Azure portal, namely Azure Virtual Machine. Now in this episode, we are exploring three cornerstones of cloud computing, mainly around the area of compute in Azure. The main services are Azure Virtual Machines, Azure Containers, and Azure Virtual Desktops. We'll try to make this explanation as simple as possible and back it up with demos so that you remember these concepts forever as long. Have you ever sat in a tech talk nodding along as words like virtualization, containerization, and infrastructure as service fly by, secretly feeling like you are trying to decipher a foreign language? You're not alone. The world of cloud computing was meant to make technology simpler, but the terminology often builds a wall between the experts who build it and the rest of us who use it. Today, we are exploring three cornerstones of cloud computing, taking our journey from raw infrastructure to a complete digital workspace, and finally to packaged applications. Hi, my name is Rajdeep and I welcome you to CertHeads, a channel dedicated to certifications and tutorials around certifications. Section 1, Azure Virtual Machines. Now, Azure Virtual Machines is the very basic component and starting point of your journey in the world of Azure. Now, why create an Azure Virtual Machine? Following are the use cases. You want to deploy a custom software. You want complete control on the operating system. You want to customize hosting configuration of your software. Now, Azure Virtual Machines is just like a physical server, but you do not have to buy and maintain the physical hardware. You can use custom images to deploy a VM. There are tons of images to choose from in Azure. What is an image? It is like a template which you can use, which already contains custom software or custom configurations. Now, what if you have created a VM in Azure and you want to scale it? What do you mean by scaling? Scaling means increasing the size of the VM or adding more VMs to already available pool of the virtual machines which you have created. Now, why would you want to do that? You would want to ensure that the virtual machines which you have created is highly available, which means if one VM goes down, the other VM is able to take up the load, or you want to run an application which has high traffic demands, also called peaks, and you want to balance the load between more than one virtual machine. How can you achieve this? You can do that by two methods. The first is called scale sets. What is scale sets? Scale sets simply means create and manage a group of identical load balanced VMs. You monitor the utilization of the VMs and add a new VM to the set if the load increases, and if the load is less, the VM numbers are reduced. Now, this kind of scaling is also called horizontal scaling, and you can do it automatically by setting up parameters in Azure. The wow part is Azure automatically deploys a load balancer in front so that the number of VMs behind your load balancer is always used efficiently. You can also vertically scale a VM, which means you can increase the size of the VM to handle that extra load. Virtual machine availability sets help you build a resilient environment. Now, what happens in the background is when you put machines in an availability set, the virtual machines have different power sources and network sources, and also the underlying host under the VM are patched by Microsoft at different times so that all the VMs in an availability set do not get rebooted at once. This is a very important concept, and what this helps us achieve is an update domain and a fault domain. Now, what is update domain and fault domain? Now, update domain means grouping VMs in such a way that all the VMs in this group are rebooted at the same time. If you select availability set while creating the virtual machine, Microsoft will ensure that no two VMs lie in the same update domain. Similarly, in fault domain, you group your VMs by common power sources and network switch. Now, in this case, Microsoft will ensure that no two VMs lie in the same fault domain if you select availability sets while creating the virtual machines. And to top it off, this is totally free. Let us try to understand some of the use cases of when you want to use a virtual machine. You might want to use a virtual machine when you are testing or developing a new application. You also want to run certain applications in the cloud. If you have a physical data center and you want to extend your reach to cloud, if you want a disaster recovery setup, say you have a main setup running in physical data center and your alternative setup runs in the cloud. And also, if you are moving your physical data center to cloud data center, this can be an excellent choice. Now, we have talked about servers till now, but what about the end users? Is there a way we can also have virtual desktops which can be used by end users? Well, let me remind you to make sure to subscribe to the channel unless you want to miss out the next videos in this series. And also make sure to like the video so that it can reach out to more and more people. This brings us to the next chapter. Section 2, Azure Virtual Desktop Concept. Now, Azure Virtual Desktop is a kind of virtual machine which is focused towards end users, the ones who use laptops or desktops. Now, this solution is primarily a desktop application virtualization service that runs on cloud. You can also use cloud-hosted virtual desktops from any location on any device with any operating system. Now, this is a very powerful tool. Imagine a scenario, you're starting a company and you have 10 users and you want your users to connect to your development environment with their own devices. You can deploy AVD, which lets them directly access your work environment. You can also secure this by enabling multi-factor authentication and also secure access to data using role-based access control. So as a business, your data is fully secure and the users get a great experience. You have an option to run multi-session where one VM is used by multiple users, or single session where a user who has heavy compute needs gets a dedicated single VM for him. Let's head over to the Azure portal and deploy an AVD solution and see how it looks like. So we are now in the Azure portal, and there is a prerequisite step before we actually go ahead and create the Azure Virtual Desktop. That step is to create an ID in Microsoft Entra. So you can go to Microsoft Entra, go to users and just create a username. So I have already created a user by the name of Raj Sofan. Similarly, you can create a user and that user is going to sit on your on Microsoft tenant. Now, once you have done that, you can use that user and log into the AVD which we will create. Now let's go to the search and try Azure Virtual Desktop. So click on the option and on the left hand side you will see a quick start option. Click on the quick start. Now the quick start already has some pre-configured settings. We are just deploying this for test purposes, so we may use this quick start option to create the AVD solution. So let's click on create and provide some basic information as in where the AVD solution will be deployed. So I will say UK South and provide a username and password for logging in to the AVD. Okay, that's done. And next, that's the most important part, is user assignment. So here we will assign the user which we had created earlier. Has already started. It is in progress and it takes some time for the deployment to happen. Meanwhile, you need to download an application called Windows app. If you are a Mac user, you can find that in your app store, and if you are a Windows user, you can download it directly from internet. So this application will help you log into the AVD solution once it's deployed. So I'll fast forward to once the deployment completes. So meanwhile, I have installed the Windows app and let me log into the workspace with the user ID which I had created earlier in Entra. So the user ID will look something like this: your subscription name on Microsoft.com. So I will log into it. So now it's setting up the workspace, and it is also showing us a session desktop. Now let's head back to the Azure portal and check if the deployment is done. It is still deploying. I'll refresh it. Now if we want to see what resources are getting created, I'll go to resource groups and the resource group which is automatically created, we'll see we have NIC, we have energies, we have an application group, host pool, workspaces, a virtual machine, disk, and a VNet. So these are all the resources which are required for using a AVD solution. Now we are not deep diving into AVD, we just want to understand the concept here. If you want me to create a new video which is dedicated for AVD, let me know in the comment section and I'll create it for you. Okay, we can see our deployment has succeeded now, and now let's try to log in with our Windows app to the AVD session. So it will give you a warning message. You are attempting to connect to a remote device. It has already found out the VM name. I'll select yes. We are logged into our AVD session now. We can click on start menu and we can start navigating the Windows AVD. As you can see, it's fully set up. So this is your own personalized desktop. It is right now in multi-session, and as I explained, you can also create dedicated sessions for users who want a dedicated host. Now imagine a scenario where you have multiple applications which run on different operating systems and have different underlying OS needs, which brings us to our next topic, Azure Containers. Section 3, Transition to Containers. Now what are containers? So imagine them as virtualized environments. The good thing is, in virtual machines you need to manage the operating system, while in containers you don't. Now containers run within their own environment. They are lightweight and can be scaled out and stopped dynamically to respond to change and demand. The most popular container engine is Docker, and yes, Azure supports Docker. Think of these 3 Azure services as different levels of help for running containers in cloud. Azure Container Instances, it just runs your container. You give Azure your container image and Azure starts it for you. You don't manage servers or Kubernetes. Good for simple apps, jobs, tests, or I just need this container to run now. In short, fast, simple, single container or small group runs. Now Azure Container Apps is similar to container instances but built for real applications. It can automatically scale up or down, handle HTTP traffic, and do basic load balancing. It is good for small to medium apps, APIs, microservices where you want to auto scale without managing Kubernetes. In short, easier app platform while scaling and load balancing built in. Azure Kubernetes Service is also called AKS, is a full control and scale environment. This is managed Kubernetes and it is used when you run many containers, microservices, and need advanced control like networking, security, custom scaling, and DevOps pipelines. You still manage the worker nodes and Kubernetes concepts such as pods, deployments, and services. In short, it is powerful, flexible, but more complex for big, serious container platforms. Now you might ask, why should you use containers at all? Well, imagine your app has 3 parts. One container for front end, what the user sees, one for the back end, the business logic, and one for storage. If the back end is overloaded, you can scale just that container without touching the others. You can also update or replace any one part without breaking the rest of it. That's the basic idea. Container lets you split your applications into small pieces that you can run, scale, and update independently. Let me know in comments if you want a full video explaining container concepts, and I'll create it for you. But for now, the fun part, let's go ahead and create a basic container instance. And in Portal, we will search for container and a container name, test, and region is UK South. I don't want availability zones. Standard SKU, we'll use quick start images. Again, quick start helps us create things really fast just for test purposes. And the image is automatically selected. It has selected MCR, Microsoft.com, Azure Docs, Hello World, and the Linux image. We'll leave everything default and we'll also provide a DNS name, AZ-certed, and click on next. We don't want monitoring enabled on it. We'll deselect that, click on advanced, and we'll keep everything default here and let it review if all the settings are correct. The validation has passed. Let's go ahead and create the container instance. So the deployment has started. So as we can see, the deployment has finished. Let's go to the resource. Our resource is deployed here. There is an option called FQDN, fully qualified domain name, and we had given some name here, AZ-certed, and rest of the suffix is added by Microsoft automatically. We'll copy this and we'll try to run it in our browser. And we can see we have a hello world message which says welcome to Azure Container Instances. So with just few clicks, we deployed a public web app which is running inside a container in Azure. Remember, we did not create any virtual machines or we did not deploy any Kubernetes service, but this is how simple it is. So we understood the following concepts today. We understood virtual machines, where it is used for. We looked into virtual desktops, the AVD solution, useful in remote work, secure, bring your own device, desktop virtualization. We had a look into containers, microservices. We looked at the management level, which is high in case of a virtual machine. In terms of virtual desktops, AVD, it is medium, which is manage image and user access. And in terms of container, the management level is low. It varies by services. So I would like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, stay safe and let's crush those certifications together.